Some wires that I wanted to work with. I just want to make sure this is centered. Yeah, that should be good. It's a little different working with Facebook Live because it's vertical. So Mirja says, I love the theme. Awesome. Fantastic. Speaking from Sweden. Very cool. That's awesome. So here's some wires I'm going to use. I have some tools. I have my regular tools here. And then you're going to need like a round form to do the end of the wire. So what I thought I'd do to start is I'm going to try one. I'm going to do the flat. I think I'm going to try the bird's nest because that's what I wanted to do today. If I might not get around to doing the rose until another day, but there's definitely tutorials online on how to do the roses, which is super cool. So the idea for the bird's nest was just to start with some thin wire. So this is 24 gauge wire, and I've actually made these bird's nests before as earrings and pendants, I think. And I did a really super cute one. Was that like it was like a bird's nest, and then there was an actual little bird bead on top, which was super cute, but I couldn't find my bird bead, so I'm going to see what I can do without it. So let's just cut a couple of feet of the 24 gauge wire. Now you could definitely use 22 gauge wire for this because 24 is a little thin, but I think the idea behind the bird's nest is you just take your 3 pearls. So whatever, if I could find the hole, whatever pearls you want to use. So we'll put the 3 pearls on there. And you know what? I can't see the comments on my computer, so I'm just going to see as they come up here. Or maybe I could push this down a bit. Yeah, yeah, I could do. Ooh, adding a bird bead. Yes, yes, the bird bead is a cute idea. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the bird beads I was looking for, so I'm going downtown tomorrow, so maybe I'll see if I can find some other bird beads. I have some funky ones I got in Guatemala that I'm going to have a look and see. So the idea behind this though is you can start with the 3 beads, and then what you can do, there's no real rhyme and reason for this, you could do it any which way you want, but I'm just going to kind of put the wire through this first bead like that to pull it up. I think I'm getting some little pop-up emojis here, which is super cool. Thanks, guys. So if we just start with the 3 beads like that, so that's a good start for the bird's nest. And then what you would want to do is, I really think it's not like super important how you do this, but I think basically what you're going to do is you kind of wind it around in a way that you kind of go underneath and over. So you at least get it started, like kind of wind it around a bit. And then what you can do is, so it doesn't, of course, all come apart, you're going to have to start weaving it in certain spots, okay? We're going to have to start weaving it in there in certain spots. This is super fun being live on Facebook, guys. Wow, I have not done this like in a event page before. This is really exciting. Peggy says, I've seen where people make the nest with birthstones. That's a great idea too. Yeah, yeah. And you could do even like 3 different colors of pearls. Like say if there were 3 different, if it's for a mom with 3 kids. Yeah, it's really open-ended. And as you can see, I'm not really doing it perfectly. Like if you want to just a little, like you can even wind it around a few more times just to save like weaving it too much. Like say you want to just fatten it out a little bit without having to weave it in and out too much. Like go around it a few times and then just randomly stick it in different areas. And you're going to find it's almost like sewing, right? So you're going to find it will all come together. Sometimes at first it might look a little flat, but the more you weave it in and out, the easier, the more it's going to look like an actual bird's nest. Because basically the bird's nest is just a whole bunch of twigs that the birds have been going around and picking up and putting in one by one. So when you think about the labor that's involved for a bird to make a bird's nest, we could do it a lot quicker just by winding wire. But the bird actually, it's quite the process to make the nest because they're bringing the twigs 1 or 2 at a time, right? So let me just see here. Yeah, okay, good. I can see your comments as they come on the computer now. So I'm just going to keep winding it in and out, keep weaving it. And you can make it more 3D by adding more wire. This one, I'm just trying to keep it really loose around here. So, and then I'll give you a little bit. I guess I never did a tutorial of the one with the bird bead. So unfortunately, like I said, I don't have the bird bead right now. But basically what I did with the one with the bird bead, I think I had a wire coming up here and I stuck the bird bead on top. Now, unfortunately, the only bird beads I have, I'm going to show you. These are ones I got in Guatemala. Sometimes you can buy them on, like buy necklaces or bracelets with these little birds on them, which are super cute. I might be able to use one, but I think these are going to be too big. So I won't use those, but I will make a wire bird. So my idea was to take this bird's nest. So what you could do in theory is simply do a little ring up here and hang that as a pendant or earrings. Super easy. So that's already one idea that you could do. But I wanted to just take it up a level. So I'm going to take this thicker wire, which is like 18 gauge, and I'm going to cut the 18 gauge wire. Can you make a few wires loose? Like just keep them really loose. You could adjust the tension on them as much as you want, for sure. Yeah, and the bird's nests, they're really very open-ended how you want to do them. So for the pendant, what I'm going to do is just take this end and just bend it at a right angle. So Amber says, I'd like to know how you're keeping the wires straight. I crimped mine. So I just kind of like stretched it out first to keep it straight. Sometimes you can use a cloth. And this is actually a 24 gauge wire that I buy in a coil like this. So it's already pretty straight. You just have to be careful when you unroll it. Those are cool. I have a very thin mother of pearl dove. Yes, that's exactly what I used, Peggy, when I originally did the one with the bird in the nest. And if I can find a sample or a picture, I'll definitely show you. But right now, I can't remember where I put it. So now you can make a loop. I'm seeing already this is going to be a little small, this loop, because I want to put a bird inside. So I'm going to take one of these pill bottles. I just use these all the time for making round forms. I keep a stack of them, like a little babushka doll of the pill bottles together. So I use those for to make my round forms. So I will just make this form a little bit bigger. So we're going to go around here, okay? And then that, I think, is going to be better. So you just want to keep forming it until it's nice and round here. There we go. And then imagine this is going to be here, and then I'm going to put a bird hanging there. So I think that's going to be pretty good. Usually what I do is I just try to start this loop around so it won't get pulled out of place. So I start that little bend here, but actually, oh, you know what I forgot? I wanted to do a loop. So that's okay. I'm going to fix that up. So I forgot that I actually wanted to do a little loop at the top to hang the bird with. So let me just push this at a side. So this I want to actually make a loop. I almost forgot. So we're going to take our round pliers and then just form a little loop here at the top, okay? And that means we're going to be able to actually hang something from that loop. So there's our loop. We're going to go here and just bring it down. I have to be very careful to keep my hands on the screen because I have a very narrow screen here. So now what you're going to do, guys, is just take this and wind it around, okay? We're going to go around here. So you have a loop at the top, which is super cool. So we're going to do that. Hey, Wendy, how are you? We're just doing a little quick troubleshooting of a spring-themed pendant. So we already made the bird's nest. You could definitely watch the replay to see how we did that. So if you want to do something as simple as just a bird's nest for a spring pendant, you could totally do that. And I'm just taking it up a little bit of a notch. So now if you want to hang this directly on a cord, do the pendant, the loop perpendicular to your pendant, and then you don't need to add a jump ring. But if you do want to add a jump ring, do this loop parallel to your piece, and that's going to make sure that it hangs properly and doesn't flip out of place. So let's do this loop here. Okay, we're just going to do a little loop around. Okay, we'll do a loop around here, and then we're going to cut it. And maybe I'll do a proper tutorial for this one on YouTube if it turns out well. So maybe this will be doing the live streams in the event page will be sort of my little experiment. And then if they work out, I can put them on YouTube. So here's like the sort of the starting point. And then what I was thinking was to attach this here. Now, the idea that I wanted to do rows with one piece of wire would not really work with this, because this wire has to be quite a bit thinner than this wire, because the bird's nest wire has to be quite thin. The other thing I thought of doing was a little loop in here, just so the bird's nest won't flip back and forth. But for the sake of just getting it done today, I'm going to just do it this way. So now I see this has to actually get woven in a little bit, just so so we have it coming to the back, because you want these wires coming to the back. So just make sure they're, you know, sort of at the back where you want them. And then we're gonna, you missed the beginning. So the theme of today's tutorial, or today's theme, is signs of spring. But you don't have to do this particular design. I posted all kinds of links to other videos with a spring related theme. So you can do flowers, you can do butterflies, you can do anything related to spring. That's the fun thing about this particular challenge, is it's very open-ended. So now I'm just tying this one around here, just twisting it around a few times just to hold it in place. So just as many times you think you need to wind it around to get it to sit solidly. Because the wire is thinner, it's 24 gauge wire, it might take a little more twisting to get it to hold in place, but already it's pretty good. And like I said, if you had put a little loop on the back of this anchor wire, it would have sat even better in place. And you can push these springs in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is cut these bits off. We'll just cut them right off now. And there we have our little bird's nest. Now the reason I'm putting it facing out, you could put it this way to look like it's sitting. So if you did earrings, small earrings, you could put it out this way and it would be more 3D. But if you use this as a pendant, it's going to hit your chest and it's not going to sit very well. So better to have it more stylized and pushed so it's flat, like that. And then what you want to do is make sure it's centered. And I'll put a photo of this in the group when I'm done, and then that way you guys can see the finished product. So this is the bird's nest. Now here's it's aluminum in gold color. So let's try that. So let's go. Where did you get them from? The wire? The wire is from Etsy. Yeah. Is that what you mean, or was it the beads? The beads, I'm not sure where I got the bird beads, but I'm going to definitely try to find a source for them because they would be cute for this project. So let's do a little loop for the eye. It's very tricky to actually see what I'm doing under the camera, but I think we'll make do. So there we go. So we have the starting of a bird, and then we're going to bend this back, okay, and just push it down a little bit. So this is going to be like a little beak. I'm just hope he's going to be small enough. I'm a little bit worried. So we're going to have to make it really tiny because it has to fit in here. So we're going to go in here and we need like a little tail. So let me just double check it's going to fit in here. It's going to be very small. This should be all right, actually. So if we do a little tail, and we can adjust the shape after. So let's do a little tail and just adjust the shape a little bit. Here, like that. I think the eye might have to be pulled in a little bit because he or she is looking a little bit small, or big. So we're going to pull that in a little bit. And then we're going to bend this up because we're going to need something to hang the bird up a little bit. Hopefully she's not going to be uneven. And then now we're going to do a bit of a tail. Okay, so there we go. So it's looking a little bit like a dove or something. You know what, this might even I might have to center this a bit more, so maybe I'll just go down like that. And then we want to form a kind of a wing. So we're going to just take our round pliers and start forming a bit of a wing. Bring this around. There we go. So let's see if it should be sticking up or down, down, up, maybe up a bit. And then we're going to bend that part of the wing. So maybe I'll use the flat pliers for that. Okay, so we're just going to get the flat pliers here, down there. And see, that looks like a little bit, maybe I have to pinch it a little bit more. Okay. I'm so excited you're doing a bird. You have a little birdie boyfriend. Oh wow, that's so cool. Nice. Yes. Well, this is sort of the basic shape for the bird. I've done other birds that look more like chickens. So, but this one's more like a little bird. So it's just basically, I mean, it's not perfect, but it's the idea, right? So it's like a little bird with a little wing, and then we'll just bring that up, and then we just need to like twist it around, right? So we're just going to, sometimes I would put the wire straight up from the head, but we have to, it's just balance wise, you have to get it to sit properly, right? So let's just bend this around a few times. Okay, you could even stick some little beads in there if you wanted to. Yeah, and you could even just make, see the cute little bird. So you could even make just bird earrings too if you wanted to. Like the sky's the limit. So I just wanted to give you guys a few ideas of things you could do for spring. So here's a little birdie. This I'm not quite 100% sure about the shape, but it's pretty good. She's sweet. And then we want to hang it in here, right? So hopefully that's going to be centered properly. I maybe should have pulled it in a little bit more. Let me just pull that one in a little bit more to be a little more centered. And then now I'm going to do I'll do a little loop to hang it on here. And let's see how low. We should probably hang it low enough because you want it to be in the widest part of the circle. So we're going to bend that back and then bend this one down this way here. And we'll just put it on there here. Actually, if this video ends up being clear enough, I might try to put it on YouTube as well. I might try to download it and put it on YouTube. We'll see how it goes. And then we're going to just complete the loop. So we're going to complete the loop there. And the shape is perfect. Oh, thank you. It's always good to get feedback. So sometimes it's hard to be objective about your own work. So let's go around here. And we're going to just bring that around. So we want to just wind that around here and then just clip it. This is fun doing lives in the Facebook group, guys. I love it. It's a lot more intimate. I feel like you're in my living room. Hey Eva, how are you? We're doing a quickie live on in the group just for fun to work out a spring design. So now what you'll just have to do is just adjust this a bit like that. And then it's going to be hard for me to show you how it looks because I can't hang it properly, but this is basically how it's going to look. So, and then this, if you have to move the bird's nest around, you could rotate it a bit to make sure it's in the right place. So here's our little bird with the bird's nest, guys. This is exactly what I envisioned, what I wanted to do. Definitely YouTube worthy, Heather. Oh, thank you. I'll definitely try to get it on YouTube to see if I could download and put it on YouTube. So this is the bird's nest with the bird on the frame. So you could just do a bird's nest. You could just do a bird. If you've already done your challenge today, feel free to do another one. And then probably what I'm going to ask you at the last day is to upload one of each of your designs, which would be great. So we'll definitely do that on the last day. And let me do just a quick idea for the rose. And the rose one was the one that Angela did on the live stream. And Neil, you did this one too, right? The rose in the loop. So I just want to try it quickly with one piece of wire to see if it's going to work because I thought it was a really cute idea, but I like when possible to do things with one piece of wire. So here, I'll move this at the side. I'm going to bring it back after to show you guys. Thanks, Maria. Love it. Awesome. Is that a kitty emoji? Don't you go eating my bird there. That's funny. So let's try to do a rose. So what you would want to do for a rose, if you want it to be centered within a loop, we're going to take a piece of wire. It's a couple of maybe 18 inches long. And it's, what gauge is it? 20 gauge. I haven't really thought this out. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but I think what I'll do is start it with a loop. Okay, we'll just start it with a little loop. And then basically the rose, this might be too hard, but I think basically the rose, what you do is you just take your loop and you wind the wire around one way. I did one before as a ring and now I forget how I did it. I think basically you wind it one way And then the other wire, you wind the other way, okay? So we wind one wire, one wire, one wire the other way. And I know sometimes people even twist the wires first, which would be super cool as well. So the idea is, yeah, you just want to, but you want to also give it some depth. So that's the tricky part, is to give it a lot of depth. But if you keep like going one way, one way, one the other, I always love watching you think, yes, that pretty well sums up what you guys are doing. You're like literally watching my thought process, because, you know, sometimes you go one direction and it's not quite what you want. And so you kind of do a left turn and then you go the other way. So basically this is all I'm doing, is I'm just taking these wires, one's going one way and one's going the other, until you're happy with your design. Now, I don't want this to be too big. So what I'm going to do now is, once you're happy with the size of the rows, then you probably want to bend these out at a like a 45-degree angle, because the idea is this is going to be, you want the rows to be centered on this wire. So these are going out at a 45-degree angle, but then you want to like straighten these wires, right? So if you have a cloth, it could be easier, but you definitely want these wires to be super, super straight before you form your loop. So here's our rows. So in theory, you could like do any which way thing you want with these. You can even like put beads on there. You could put beads on, like cut that one and put beads on there and hang it down. You could do a loop here, put beads on here and hang some dangly beads on there. Like, the sky is the limit for this. You know, you guys could do anything, but because what I wanted to do was to do something similar to what Angela had done, you would want to take your round form. So I'll just find, I have a pill bottle here, a round form, and you want to just make your round form here. So you're going to really take the edge of your pill bottle. Okay, you really want to take the edge, bring it around. Okay, and then the other side, these wires are like way too long, so I could actually clip them a little bit because those are way too long. We're going to clip that one too, and then we're going to, yeah, I tend to cut my wires too long because I hate running out of wire, especially when I'm trying to make something with one piece of wire. I'd rather like just use a little extra, and because it's not sterling silver, it's not like expensive wire, I don't have to worry too much about it, so that's good. So let's just keep going around here. And then what you would want to do here is try to make your loop as perfect as possible. And then you could do your adjustments. You know, you want this to be, if you find there's a, like, that's not the shape you want, you might have to go in with a smaller round form to help it out to make the right shape, or even like with your pliers, but very carefully because you don't want to nick the wire. And then what you want to do is bend one of these up. So you're going to bend one of these straight up to like make sure it's about centered here. And then this one you want to twist around. So this is where you have to really eyeball and see if it's nicely centered. You know, just go around and see if it's centered. So that's pretty good. We can just like put it here, and then just, in theory, you could even like do a loop and hang something down there if you want it. You don't want to like overkill, you don't want too much, but just make sure it's somewhat centered. This side looks a little smaller to me, but I think for the sake of just getting the sample done. So that works with one piece of wire, guys. That's pretty good. So Mirja says, beautiful. Thank you so much. So then if you wanted to put a little bead on there to make it a little more fancy, you can put like a little crystal bead or something. Let me see what I have. I have a purple bead here. I can try that and see. It's like watching a movie. Awesome. Oh, you're eating chocolate. No fair. I want chocolate. Wow. So let's put, oh, you know what I have? I have a little gold. Let me just see what I have. I want to just put a few beads on there to make it a little more fancy. I have a spacer bead. I'm going to take this off now. I'm just going to try something else. So I love the chocolate idea. Okay, so maybe this time tomorrow we can all get on and bring chocolate. That would be fun. We could definitely do that. This one, I'm just going to push this loop down, like flatten it down a bit so the beads sit a little a little better. So there's see, it'll sit more flat now. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to put a spacer bead. And then we're going to put another bead here. See? So you could really do what you want here. I'm not sure. What do you guys think about the beads? Should I scrap the beads or should I keep the beads? I'm not quite sure what to do. Or should I use a smaller bead? Any feedback would be great because I'm not 100%. I'm loving the beads. So let me know what you think. I'm going to try some other beads and see. That's just with the miracle beads. I'm really open to ideas. I also have hematite beads. This is a hematite bead. It probably is not going to fit on here. Oh yeah, it fits. So there's a hematite bead. I need some feedback. Let me know what you think. I would go with a big bead on the bottom and a smaller one on top. Not loving the beads. Yeah, see, I'm having trouble figuring out what I'm going to do for the beads. So you know what I'm going to do is I'll remove them for now. I like simplicity of the rose by itself. Yeah, so let's, and some people say keep. So what I'm going to do, because this is the first sample, I'm just going to leave it really super plain. Now, if you wanted to put it on a simple chain, you can put this loop perpendicular. Otherwise, if you do want to add a jump ring, just bend it so it's parallel to your piece. And we're going to go around here. And then if any of you try this with beads, definitely post it in the group. So for this initial one, I'm going to keep it simple. But if you want to post one with beads, definitely do that. Beads are one of my, and choosing colors and beads is one of my things I have most trouble with, because I'm more of a, like, I'm trained as a graphic artist. So I like a lot of like very simplistic, like I do a lot of drawing, more drawing than working with colors. So here's the idea. So here's the rose on the loop, all made with one piece of wire. That was, Angela inspired me to do that. And I know, Neil, you've tried it as well. And then here's the other piece that we made with the bird and the bird's nest on the loop. So thanks so much for watching the video. Give it a big thumbs up if you liked it. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for lots more DIY wire art and jewelry making videos. Hit the notification bell to be notified when I go live and when I post new videos. And if you'd like to share photos of your work, be sure to join the Wire Art and Jewelry Makers Club on Facebook. I'll link it up below. And if you'd like to check out my work on Etsy, my husband and I specialize in custom wire, wedding cake toppers, and funky jewelry. And also, I have a mailing list going, so if you'd like to join my mailing list, I'll mail you my Wire Art Essentials ebook, and that's linked up below too. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.